guys, DanTCG here with another video, and today I wanted to talk about some market opportunities for Pokemon First Edition Wizards of the Coast era cards that I think have presented themselves, and let's dive right in. So the first one I want to talk to you guys about is the Brock's Rhydon, the First Edition from Gym Heroes 2000. If we look here at the population report that I've got pulled up, there's only 91. And this card, really a lot of cards in this set are already up over and or really darn close to $1,000 per PSA 10. The pop report on these cards is so skewed because this is really when the foil print issues, the holographic foil print issues started to come about for Wizards of the Coast. It started with Gym Heroes and ended with the Neo sets. Neo Destiny, I believe, is when that really kind of ended. They fixed it for Expedition, Aquapolis, and Skyridge, but this is really when the issues started to pop up, which is why we see 287 PSA 9s to only 91 PSA 10s. And the reason why I think this card should move up in price, as it's currently priced, the last one sold for $468 at auction last month. We also had one sell for a little over $600. Prior to that, it was sitting at about $900, and that was earlier last month. Now, October, yes, prices were out of control in October and November. We have seen some regression across the board, but the market is still very, very hot, and the market is still very healthy and strong. And I really do think that a lot of people that are collecting the early sets of Wizards of the Coast will start looking to Gym Heroes, looking to Gym Challenge, and especially those Neo sets to start filling those out. Now, again, why I think this is an opportunity is because it's the very first holographic printing of Rhydon. And this set was very, not gimmicky, it was very unique in the fact that they had gym leaders associated with the cards. And Rhydon was I don't want to say, it was like kind of a mid-tier popularity Pokemon, but this is the very first holographic appearance of that card, and it's only the second printing of that card. I would suggest first edition PSA 10 copies. If you can find them between $450 and $600, I really do think this card could easily get back up to $900, maybe even as much as $1,200. Maybe this year, maybe next year, but I definitely think there's some opportunity here to buy into these, again, with a very low population report because of those foil printing issues. Now, number two is very similar to that. It's very similar to the Rhydon. It's the Dark Dawn fan from Neo Destiny 2002, specifically first edition. There's only 57 PSA 10s. They had a similar print issue with the foiling, and again, people that are looking to fill out these sets are going to want these cards. And crazy enough, there's not a lot of PSA 10 sales. The last one sold, well, according to this list, back in mid-June for about $600, and I believe on eBay right now you can find them for between $800 and $850, and you might actually find one on auction for, maybe be able to snag it for $600 to $650. But again, those are asking prices, $800 to $850. If you can, negotiate with that person, maybe get it down to $600, $650, maybe as much as $700. I think there's room for this thing to, again, be a $900, $1,000, $1,200 card in short order because there's only 57. And it's very similar to Rhydon, as in it's the first foil printing, the second printing overall for this specific Pokemon, and again, people are going to want to fill these sets out. And Neo Destiny was a beautiful set with the Shinings. I really think this is one that could pop, guys. The third is a little bit more unique, but it suffers from a similar problem that a lot of these late Pokemon Wizards of the Coast first edition sets suffer from, is there's just not a lot of pop. The pop report on this, there's only 18 PSA 10s, there's only 32 PSA 9s. My suggestion would be, if you guys can find mint Togepi first edition cards, to get those and grade them. I really think there's an opportunity here because this was not printed as a common. This is an uncommon, so it's not like Squirtle, like any of the starters, Squirtle, Charmander, Bulbasaur, where they were all printed in the common slot, and those PSA 10s go for hundreds. Togepi was one of the most popular early Pokemon that was released. I mean, there's multiple toy runs, plushie dolls. It was definitely an iconic Pokemon for viewers back in the day, and it still is an iconic Pokemon. And this was its very first set appearance. And I know there's a Black Star promo. I know there's a Southern Islands release that is very popular as well. However, this is the very first set release of Togepi, and I think it's very underrated, and there's no sales data, guys. There's absolutely no sales data. This, to me, should be a $400 to $600 card in PSA 10, PSA 9, maybe $150. But again, it's an iconic Pokemon, one that does not have much pop report. And if you guys can find, my suggestion is, if you guys can find raw cards, get those graded and see if you can get some PSA 10s, PSA 9s, build up that pop, and maybe hold them for the future, because I think there's a lot of investment potential here for Togepi, especially in Neo Genesis. Another one from Neo Genesis that I really think is super duper underrated, guys, is the Feraligatr First Edition. As you can see here, there's only 66 PSA 10s. There's 261 PSA 9s. This was a very hard card to grade in PSA 10. Now, there's two variations of each one of the starters in Neo Genesis, which was unique to that set. We're specifically talking about Feraligatr number 4. I really think this should be a $3,000 to $4,000 card in PSA 10, BGS 9.5, something like that. Right now, you can find them on eBay for about $1,200 for BGS 9.5 or a PSA 10, somewhere around there. If you guys can snag them for about $900 to $1,000 and negotiate it down, I really think there's an opportunity for you guys to make some really good money here. This is a second generation starter. Feraligatr was very popular, and again, for people looking to complete these Neo Genesis sets, that wave is coming. Neo Genesis, in my opinion, Neo Genesis is very, very underrated in this market. We saw a lot of movement with base set, with Jungle, a little bit with Fossil, and especially Team Rocket, the Dark Charizards and Dark Blastoises, etc. But I think Neo has been overlooked by the market, and I think we're going to start to see some real movement with Neo-based sets in the coming years. So I would pick these up if you guys can. $1,200. Look in Facebook Marketplace. Look in your Facebook threads and forums and groups. Look on eBay, Macari. I really do think there's a lot of opportunity for Feraligatr First Edition, specifically the number 4. I just wanted to mention as well the Meganium First Edition, the number 11 specifically, the number 10. I think there's only maybe 17 PSA 10s. It's very hard to attain. I also do think that card is very, very investable and very undervalued. I also do think the Meganium First Edition, the reason why I'm talking about the 11 is because it's more attainable, it's easier to get, and again, these ones are suffering from the same issues, the same print issues as all of the Neo set with the foiling. The foil scars that were left in on the printing process, the lines, the issues that they had created a situation where there's more PSA 8s and 9s than there ever will be 10s. And there's only 59 PSA 10s right now for Meganium First Edition. This is a first appearance. This is a grass starter, second generation. These are very old cards now, 21 years old. This set is now 21 years old, and I think there's a lot of money to be made. The prices right now are right around $1,500. That's the most recent sales data that I could find, and I think again, if you guys can get these cards, negotiate them down to $1,300, $1,200, these should be $3,000 to $4,000 cards. I think the market is really overlooking these, especially with how hot the market is, how collectible the market is, how many outside investors are coming in. The Neo sets, do not underrate the Neo sets, guys. And our next card is actually from the Neo sets as well. It's Neo Discovery Espeon First Edition. Same issues, guys. There's only 76 PSA 10s. Now, why am I bringing up Espeon? Well, what about Umbreon? Well, if we look at Umbreon, Umbreon has 72 PSA 10s. However, I think Umbreon's price has been realized. There have been cards selling for around $10,000. I think right now it's settled between $6,000 to $8,000 for PSA 10. The reason why I'm bringing up the Espeon First Edition specifically is because these cards are floating PSA 10 right around $3,000. So I know these are these are shock values here. So we had about a $5,300 sale back in November. However, in December, we've seen some sales go down as low as $3,600, and I believe there's a few on eBay right now for about $3,500. This should be an $8,000 card in my opinion. Again, this is just my opinion, but it should be an $8,000 card. And the reason why I say that is, if we look back at Jungle, Vaporeon has a very similar pop report in the PSA 10 slot. There's only 66. This was a very difficult card to grade based on where it was, the way they cut it. it just screwed everything up. It had print issues, it was off-centered most of the time, a lot of issues with Vaporeon first edition. It's similar to Espeon, and the reason why I'm saying it's similar to Vaporeon is because Vaporeon, again, there's only 66, but those PSA 10s are selling for about $7,600, $8,300. Espeon is only selling for around $3,500. This was a very popular EV Evolution duo, Umbreon and Espeon in Gen 2. These cards are very old, 20 years old, and I really do think PSA 10, if you guys can grab PSA 10s for around that $3,500 range and just sit on them, they should be $8,000 cards at some point in the near future or within the next few years. That is my opinion, and I'm definitely gunning for Espeons. Now, if we move on to my last suggestion to you guys, it's an Expedition set. So, why Mew? There seems to be a lot of people trying to figure out what exactly the first Mew printing was. This is the first Mew printing in a set. This is the first Mew printing in a set. I know he had, I believe, 2 Black Store promos, and he also had a Southern Islands holographic release, which is highly, highly sought after. However, Mew reverse foils in Expedition, specifically the reverse foils, because the foil PSA 10 is, I believe, selling between $3,000 and $5,000 in PSA 10. My suggestion here is, because this population report is so low, it's going to be very hard for you guys to find reverse foil Mews in PSA 10. I would see if you can find some mint prospects, buy them up for between $100, maybe $85 and $125, somewhere in that range, current value, and see if you can get those things graded PSA 9, PSA 10. I think there's a lot of potential there. We saw the last one sell in September for $415. I think now it's probably a $700 card given the current state of the market, and I think if it really should be a $1,200 card. That's the point I'm trying to make here, is it should be a $1,200 card. It should be somewhere around that price point, and I think a lot of people are underestimating the reverse foils in Expedition and Aquapolis and Skyridge, and that's the reason why we're seeing these price points. But if you guys can find, see again, we have PSA 8s for $100, $40, that's insane. Again, a PSA 10 best offer, that was actually back in May, it was $224. So we even saw doubling here just a few months later in September of $415. And again, I think it's probably, if a PSA 10 were to hit the market, it'd probably be around that $700 to $750 range. And I think if you guys can find a mint gem prospects to send into grade, hold those, grade them, and see if you guys can make some good money doing that, because there is opportunity here with this specific card. Now, again, it's the first set printing, so there is some significance within the hobby and also within just the history of cards as to why this card should be in demand and in more demand. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. These are some of my market ideas for you guys right now in 2021. I really think there's some opportunity with these cards, and we'll see what exactly happens. But these are cards that I'm looking into, I'm trying to get a hold of, and I'm trying to collect. Those are some of my strategies for the Mew and the Togepi. Definitely keep an eye out for those, and we'll see you in the next video. Take care.